Hi everybody, we are here for the post-match analysis of the final of the 229th Billy Weekly Deathmatch between blockmonoid and tamesizeya. I'm here with Block. Hi Block.
Hello. Hi, Thwal. How are you?
Fine, thanks. And so we are now looking at the match through tamesizeya's perspective. So he started with sailing and oars, and I think he opened with sailing, which I think is a standard thing to do. What did you have, Block?
I had mysticism and archery, so
Yeah, okay.
mysticism is the better card there for sure.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, not much to discuss here. So so you decided to use mysticism, right?
Yeah, worst case it gets covered, but I get another card in my hand.
Yeah. And so you got agriculture, and I, I mean, here one would just use sailing twice, more or less, unless you get pottery on the first, I guess.
Right, right.
And on the second, he gets clothing. So, I mean, again, one of the few things mysticism is good at it speeds finding different colors.
Right.
So here, very reasonably, you tried and got writing, and then you melded agriculture to like share. Um,
Clothing, yeah.
so he shares you.
And I had a choice between archery or writing here, but I
Mm,
figured writing is slightly better. And either way, he probably, I mean, if he has a red, then he's still going to score two. If he
yes.
has a yellow or a purple, then actually it's better for me to probably meld writing to reduce his score.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. I mean, you knew that blue was going to be there for sure, and the other one you didn't know. So, yeah.
Right.
Um, so then here he Yeah, so here he couldn't do it again, otherwise you would have achieved with agriculture immediately. So he drew, I guess. Oh no, he used oars.
Right. To get some twos.
Yes. And what?
And I got at that point, I mean, I had archery in hand, so I wasn't worried.
Mhm.
So the only thing that I needed was a green, and I got map making. So I was happy to meld the map making.
Yes.
Um, just in case, I mean, for one thing, I had domestication already in my hand. And so if he got something like monotheism, then I was worried that wars could happen.
Mhm.
Um, and I liked map making because he had two ones. And this way, even if melding map making, even if he does monotheism and kills agriculture, I can still score with map making.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, here you were locked in more or less. So you play map making. Then here I think he melded pottery, which seems like a reasonable thing to do, and then use clothing to play fermenting, which is also reasonable.
Yes.
I mean, the only alternative would be try to get canal building, I guess, but like draw random draw and
Yeah, I mean, at this point, the one is in my
yes,
is mine
yeah.
because he doesn't have the crowns to counteract map making.
No, I mean, you could draw hoping like on the first move, hope draw to get canal building, but
Oh, canal building to stop map making.
yeah, but
Okay,
like who does that? No.
right.
Like in theory you can, but like instead he got currency. Well, yeah, I don't know. Maybe. Okay.
Currency would have stopped me
Yeah,
unless
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I would have had to meld domestication over agriculture, and that's
Yeah, I'm not sure you would
not,
use.
yeah, it's not a good payoff necessarily.
So okay, so here you you start making maps.
Yep, but I have to stop and achieve, otherwise he gets it with pottery or clothing.
So here, did he use fermenting? I guess.
Yeah, I think so.
And then okay, there is canal building, and and then he used pottery ones.
No, I think now he used
I
clothing.
know. Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Clone, yes. Yeah, so this allowed you to get more points with map making. I mean, it's only 1 point extra.
But it's enough.
Yes.
Like,
And
now all I have to do is share agriculture and I get H2.
yeah. And
I play archery to shut down clothing.
and then so he uses pottery on monotheism and uses it again on translation. So he's catching up in score. And
I actually thought he was going to get H3 before me.
yeah,
It's
he
kind
should have, I think. I think he made a miscalculation. Like, I think because here you smartly use agriculture, right?
of right.
And so he returned the two. So now he had, like, I think what he should have done was use pottery, return both cards, and get rid of that one. Or I don't know, use ores and get rid of that one.
Hmm.
But instead he used, no, okay, so first this you achieved, of course.
Right. Right.
And like he now here, I think the only thing he didn't have, he should not do is score that one.
All right. Because that gave me a map making again.
Yeah,
And I
yeah,
was very happy to see that.
yeah. I think this is just a minute. Like he forgot about map making. I guess that's my only explanation because like you are wasting
So,
an
I mean,
action.
if you return the two, you would score the two, and then you get a one in your hand. And so you'd be at 14 points with a one in your hand, and that's your entire hand.
Okay, but then ores. No, like you draw the one because it's shared.
No, because you get the one from pottery as
No,
the second dogma in pottery.
no, no, I
So you're
meant, sorry, I meant as a first action, tamesizeya could have used ores.
or yes, that I agree with. That was what I was realizing afterwards is he should have given me the one using ores.
Mm,
Yes. Yeah.
yes.
You
And
were saying return two
no, no,
cards with
you
pot.
are right. That was wrong because like you give away both cards, then um, the two gets scored. No, and then um, and then you are stuck with the one in your hand, and you don't have enough points, and you don't have the three. So yes, you are right.
Mhm. But so he scores the one, it's
Yeah,
pottery,
yeah. And
and
then
then he scores again.
and so now he has enough points, but the problem is that you have. So he has enough points until you use map making.
Yep.
And now he doesn't have the points anymore, and so you can just use mysticism and achieve. Next round you will achieve. So he gets a 3. He get some more points. So now you can achieve. And here, what did you have in your hand?
Machinery and translation.
Hmm. Yeah, we will talk later about the Reformation. That must have been painful, I guess.
Mm, hmm.
So when so here you use mysticism and you get Reformation. This was were you hoping for something in particular, or you just wanted to reduce the number of castles?
I wanted, well, I mean, I didn't know that it was going to reduce the number of castles for alchemy for certain, but yeah, I wanted to have a 4 on the board
Hmm.
so that
He was forced to.
yeah, he would be forced to meld and achieve.
Mhm.
And then also, yeah, then maybe alchemy would come into play or agriculture. Maybe I'd get experimentation, and jump to age 5. I figured most of the 4s I'd be pretty happy with, or just feel okay having that as the next step, you know.
Yeah, Reformation was quite good also because it tied the leaves. So
Yeah. Yeah, and I didn't quite realize that. I was wondering, later on why he did a certain move, and I realized, oh, because otherwise he'd have to share pottery. Yeah, so but that was later.
yes.
Um,
So here he achieves perspective. So he melds perspective and achieves. Um, and actually, at this point, I said, "Oh, if that 3 were paper, then he would be in a very interesting position."
mm,
And
yeah, I mean, I drew here because I hadn't seen any of the red 4s yet, so I was scared to do alchemy. And if one of us draws gunpowder, it's more painful if he draws gunpowder. So I was hoping to get gunpowder. And I think I got it as maybe not this turn. I think let's see, I got so right after mysticism, I melded Reformation and got anatomy, which
uh,
was interesting. And then I drew and got experimentation and colonialism.
okay. So at some point you ended up with all the reds.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was surprised when you used alchemy. I said, he must have got some information that I don't have. Okay, so here he melded paper and starts playing. Got navigation.
Yeah. And then I drew gunpowder.
Okay, and here is
And
where here you had a
yeah,
long break and you thought about what to do.
yeah, I was really debating what to do here. I mean, for one thing, I didn't stop to calculate what that last 4 was. I just knew it wasn't red.
Mhm.
Um, and then I was like, but if I take that 4, then he just has to do pottery on his 4, and then he gets a 5 in hand and he melts the 5 and he gets the 5. And I wasn't happy with that. But
Mhm.
I had no way to slow down his score except for anatomy. I
Yeah,
didn't really want to meld anatomy and use it. I felt like that was a little passive.
yes.
Uh, but maybe it would have been okay. But I figured, yeah, if I meld anatomy, then he's got paper and perspective, and he just starts drawing and scoring, and it would be just too slow. Um, so yeah, and then I was like, well, do I just draw that last 4 um and then get monument next turn with reformation, or should I do something with alchemy and get some more score? I was really kind of, and then that last 4 that I got was printing press, which I would have really liked to have on top,
Mhm.
and not tucked. Um, So yeah, I was overwhelmed with choices here.
Mm,
Um, but I decided to go for gunpowder. And I scored, I think, colonialism.
mm.
Um, just so that if something bad happened, the red four wouldn't get returned to mess up alchemy.
Yeah, I see, I see. Yeah, I was like, sort of expecting you to go for like to print to play to mad printing press because I was
Hmm.
thinking you would go to age six.
Yeah. I thought about it, but then I thought, well, he could draw a lot of the fives with paper
Yeah. And then meld the five or
and then perspective
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
get monument along with it. And
Mm, I see.
yeah, this is one moment where I think I didn't really have a clear plan. Um, and he got age four and five as a result. I mean, age four he fought very well for, and then age five I think was lost, but maybe I could have had more compensation for losing it.
Mm, yeah, so here he used philosophy.
Right, this was a point where I was surprised. Why did he use philosophy? He could have just done pottery. Um,
I see. But then you had the it would be shared.
right, right.
Yeah. Ah, yeah, I see. Yeah, for some reason I was expecting paper as a first, but I mean,
Mm,
not a big difference. Also, this way he gets more cards. I guess it makes sense. So he got astronomy, coal, and pirate code. Okay.
wow. Okay.
Yeah, like here I was a bit surprised because I thought, okay, like so here you use gunpowder, right?
Yeah. And that was just kind of a reflex because I had already melded gunpowder,
Mm-mm.
so I was kind of committing
So
to the idea.
you had a happy trigger.
Right. And then yeah, so I meld gunpowder, I use gunpowder, and then I draw a five, giving me the sixth card for Reformation.
Mm-mm.
And but also I'd have enough points to achieve the five if he doesn't achieve the five. So I kind of force his hand to meld a five and achieve.
Mm-mm.
Because I was worried that if he did paper and then perspective,
Monument.
he could get monument instead of me. So that was a worry in the back of my head.
Mm-mm. So this, and then you draw five.
And I scored measurement, which
Mhm.
I would have been happier scoring a red, seeing alchemy,
Mm-mm.
making alchemy safer. Um, yeah.
Yeah, here I was thinking of like if you were Tamesizeya, which card would you meld now?
Um, I would agree with what he chose, which is astronomy,
Pirate.
I think.
Did he? I know he went.
Oh
Yeah,
no, he
I
did
also
pirate.
would. I also would do astronomy because my thought was if block melds um, printing press, then you get a seven,
Yeah,
and you're very
yeah.
happy.
And astronomy is more powerful if you have yellow or red missing, because then you're more likely to achieve universe.
Yes, as I as I learned in my game against JC, so I learned it the,
The hard way.
the hard way. Okay, so he goes for a pirate code instead and achieves. So
Yeah,
here,
that's really, I mean, it's very surprising pirate code because, okay, from my perspective, it ties on the crowns. And so maybe you're going to threaten to use pirate code to steal my cards. But then I give you ones and you have
do
to
paper.
cash in one of, yeah, paper, and then you lose the crown advantage, and that makes map making powerful again. Um, and then also for alchemy, now that I know that pirate code is out, I'm much more confident to use alchemy.
Mm.
I still wasn't 100% confident because I
Yes.
didn't know where coal was. But yeah, I thought at least I could, be pretty confident.
Yeah. So here you go for reformation. Like,
Yeah, because it was an achievement that I already had.
but
But yeah, it
this
was
must have been one of the most painful reformation in the history because you had like,
experimentation, printing press. The five was chemistry. I had I had machinery. Yeah, a lot of
translation.
Yep. So I was like, okay, well, let me at least put them in an order so that if I get coal, I could score things. Always thinking
Yeah,
about
yeah.
coal.
If call the savior passes by. Yeah. It was so okay. So he melded astronomy, and then so this was quite nice for him, but he got matrix system because I was still seeing like us like I thought maybe wonder was one of the thing you would have liked to get.
Right, because I already had displays,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so here, so first you drew, I guess.
Yeah, to see what it was. And then I was like, do I risk alchemy or not? Right. And the choice was between physics or statistics. And actually, I kind of wanted both. Um, Physics to help me get to maybe age 6 and catch up. Statistics, of course, to ruin his score pile. Um, so I decided to keep statistics here.
Yeah, also, you never ended up using it. Was it because of perspective or
I think there just wasn't a good
moment?
reason to use it. I mean, sort of as soon as I placed it, he diversified his score pile, which is what he should do in that situation. Um, so he scored a 6, and then, I'd have to use statistics twice to do a lot of damage. And then, yes, perspective kind of would reverse that.
In here, I was thinking, would you have, if you had been Tamesia, would you have used pottery? Because my
Uh,
idea was you draw a card,
right.
but you can get 5 points and you get a replacement and you get a 6, which makes perspective usable in the future.
Uh, so you would return emancipation here as
Yeah, I
Tamasisia?
don't know. I mean, okay, now that I know what it's called, maybe not, but like
Right.
just to say, like you increase the size of your hand because of a share, and then you can use perspective later.
I
Well,
think he didn't want to give me cards in my hand because of alchemy.
mm,
Because I
um,
mean, at that point, alchemy has been very active for me. I kind of score and meld and get something new on my board.
so you would also go for perspective. Because like
I
my
don't
only
know.
my only idea was like you use perspective this time and then that's basically the last time you will use it in a while because like
Right.
then you need 2 cards and
I mean, does he have to achieve the 6 right now? Maybe he just does metric system
mm,
and draws.
mm. I mean in that point maybe I would have made call and start using it, but that's me. No, I mean his board was quite nice, so probably it makes sense to keep it. I mean not to use call, but in any case, so he returns call, score emancipation and achieve.
And from my perspective, there's 3 cards left plus the age 5, and one of them might be coal.
Mm,
And so I was like, do I do alchemy? Do I not?
mm.
Certainly draw the first card, and then the question is, if that first card's not coal, do I do alchemy or not and risk it? Risk wasting a turn, basically. So I decided not to risk it.
That makes sense.
I wanted to get to age 6 faster,
Yeah.
as fast as possible.
Yeah. So plays astronomy, get machine tools, then starts playing. Yeah, the fact that you, the fact that you managed to get wonder out of all of this.
Uh-huh. I mean, that was such a gamble because he had metric system on the board and kind of the cards that I would need to splay, I would have to share at least part of them.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. But I decided, you know what? Maybe I can
Oh,
sneak it through.
it was a very smart move. Actually, I called that if that five is banking, he ends up getting wonder against a person who had metric system the entire game, basically. Okay, so you drew call, and then did you use here you used alchemy, right? Because you thought that machine tools was out, so the likelihood was low.
Right. The likelihood was pretty small. Yeah.
So you got canning, and I presume the idea was I don't want canning because statistics maybe can be useful in the future.
That and if I use canning, then I lose my purple splay.
Yeah,
And and I already had monument, so it just felt like canning wasn't going to do enough for
yeah,
me.
yeah.
So yeah, and I wanted coal.
Yeah,
And I had steam engine in my hand if I needed more factories in yellow.
yes. So call the savior appears, and you score canning. So now your score is pretty healthy. So now tamesizeya, what did he do? Did he just meld machine tools? Oh no, first he
Yeah,
split purple and then meld machine tools.
right. He wanted to tie me on the factories,
Mm.
and I expected that. So that's why then I did steam engine to break the tie.
And here your idea was you don't want to share because he would play the reds.
Yeah, and then it's too easy for him to get wonder. Um,
And then you have also banking. So you're starting, but maybe, maybe.
yep.
Okay, so steam engine and then coal. Yeah, so here I started in the broadcast. I said, okay, I can see that like coal will get rid of alchemy and writing, printing press, and block is probably hoping to get emancipation on under the purpose. Would you have removed the purples if you had found emancipation at some point?
I mean I hadn't even considered that possibility entirely. I mean I knew that I eventually did want to use printing press on a purple.
Mm.
Uh, and yeah, I don't think I would have gotten rid of my purples right then because I was so close to wonder.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, having printing press there was good. So this
Right.
would give you the blue, and then
And here's the nice choice is wait, actually, was this the choice? No, this was not a choice. What was I thinking? What did I do? Did
this
I
is
do printing?
Tamesia, no? No,
Oh,
no.
now it's Tamesizeya's turn. Right. Okay. Okay.
So what did okay, so he used machine tool twice to make sure that he would get a seven in hand, I think.
Right.
And so he got vaccination, democracy in hand, and does it again. And he got bicycle, which you were desperately looking for later.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he said that publication was also, I think.
In his score pile.
Did you know that if you hover over the card, you see what it is? I didn't know.
Yeah. That's every card. I mean, I guess score pile I didn't know,
Yeah,
but
no,
yeah.
not for the score pile. I mean, because we cannot click on the score pile, but now we can. Oh, that's
Uh,
nice. Okay, so now you had basically to choose whether you wanted to use coal and hope for a purple, I guess.
no, I mean, so here I was really happy with the current situation because
Uh-huh.
now I do printing press and share it,
Yeah.
and he'll probably accept. I imagine he would accept. Um, but then I get a seven in hand. Even if he returns a six,
Yeah.
then I get a six, but then I would get a seven from
For the
sharing.
sharing, yes.
So I have a seven in hand, so I would be threatening to achieve the seven on my next turn. So
Yeah.
he either has to meld a seven and achieve, or he can get wonder with metric system, but not both. And
Yes.
so I was gonna get another achievement either way. So I was really happy with this situation.
Yes. Now this was a very smart move. I appreciate it. So he returns a two, gets evolution.
Evolution was one that I was hoping to get. Um,
But you end up with
Railroad, which was actually pretty nice because then that gave me the idea that I'm really close to Empire. And it's a purple seven. So printing press is potentially useful to jump up.
mm-mm. So you mailed it. So now he mails evolution and achieve, which it essentially forced because. So here, what did you have in your hand?
Uh, Sanitation
Sanitation.
and banking.
I see, I see. So now you met banking and get wonder, which was.
Yeah, which was good, but actually, I mean, I could have also tried to share printing press and get a high card.
Hmm. Well, the problem
So
was he could, yeah,
he could get wonder too,
yeah,
but
that's
maybe he wouldn't, maybe he would. I don't know. He probably actually would maybe get, well, I mean, or he might do evolution and draw an eight.
mm,
Um, yeah, I think maybe here, I mean, I was so happy with banking, but maybe here sharing printing press was the right move, and I get a nine.
mm. And then you can just achieve twice.
Yeah. Ah, I was too infatuated with the idea that I could get wonder what.
Yeah. Yeah. Also here,
I mean, because I could hold that in my back pocket anytime, you know, if he hasn't achieved wonder yet, I could just simply meld banking and use it,
mm,
until I start using railroad.
yeah,
Uh,
yes. So here, so he gets antibiotics, which so basically what your problem was that you didn't notice that he could score twice immediately.
yeah, with astronomy, right? I thought, okay, well, um, I'll do railroad now and hopefully get publications or bicycle. And if I get either of those, then I just meld and achieve empire.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, the question, which color should I have splayed up? I thought I was considering splaying purple, uh, and I probably should have done purple, even though it really gives me so little. Um, but yeah, I should have considered, well, what if lighting is left in the pile? Then I could do steam engine tuck.
Mm-mm.
Uh, but yeah, I didn't think I had the urgency because I didn't realize that astronomy was going to give him another achievement.
Mm.
So yeah, I missed that, and therefore I wasn't thinking as strategically. Um, because yeah, the other option was to split blue up so that printing press could be used without sharing.
Mm.
Um, yeah, and I ended up but blue unfortunately didn't give me another castle. And that's why I ended up choosing yellow of all things, to keep the leaf advantage and get a castle. But yeah, I think purple would have been actually the most strategic thing to do here. Um, because steam engine, if then I use steam engine to tuck lighting, um, then I end up losing um the castle from yellow. So whereas purple I would have three castles at the bottom. Uh, so yeah. But yeah, things didn't work out anyway because lighting was one of the cards I drew with railroad, and he had bicycle and publications. So that was it for the clocks.
Yeah, like it was almost unbelievable that he, like I didn't realize that like he could have bicycle in his hand, publication in his score pile, and that you end up with lighting. Like it was really an unlucky sequence of cards, basically.
Right. Yeah, it's kind of a frustrating thing about the card design that, you know, two of the cards with clocks are in the sevens when the clocks first appear are both purple and you can't meld them on top of each other
Mm,
in order to achieve Empire. You kind of have to meld lighting first and then put railroad on top and then use railroad to splay the purples up.
yeah.
It's a very involved process, you know.
Yes. I mean, I guess part of the idea was.
Yeah, to make sure that Empire, the natural way to achieve Empire doesn't really happen until age 8 for
Mhm.
most people. Yeah. Yep.
And also,
So
like him drawing antibiotics was exactly the right card. Like, I mean,
yeah.
of course, um, also skyscrapers could have done the trick. Plus, he could have threatened railroad, but like you were sort of unlucky not to get
Yeah.
missing clock somehow. It was a quite nice game. I liked it.
Yeah, I liked it too. But I think actually, banking was not the right move. I think printing press to jump to age 9 was the right move.
Yes, and then you could just achieve twice.
Yeah.
But then, because
He had astronomy, so he'd only get a 7 if
yeah,
he went along with it.
because he in the time you did banking and got wonder, he played evolution and get the 8. Was that?
Yeah. Oh well. You have all these choices and
Mhm.
sometimes you get distracted by a shiny
Yeah.
choice and the more dull and mundane choice was actually the better one.
Yeah, I
But I'm
think.
happy with this game. I am still happy to get Wonder,
Yeah, yeah,
instead.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it was a very nice game, and Tamasisia played very well, and
Yeah, I agree.
yeah, well deserving of the win.
Yeah, I think there is
Okay.
like fear of missing out with special achievements. Like,
Right, right. Yeah. Okay. Well, thanks, Swal, and hope to see you again
yes.
uh, in another final sometime soon.
See you in the next one. Bye, Block.
Thanks. Bye.